the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Come on in. The East is where we're from. Shalom, shalom. Come on in, brothers and sisters.
Tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian
Shalom, shalom.
king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the waters still.
Blessings to my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth.
To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went.
The Israelites are back in the name of
12
Christ.
Tribes of Israel. That's who we be. Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim, from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The
Lord is calling back Israel.
From Panama,
Come on.
the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, our highest gathering Israel.
That's right. The Most High, the God of the Hebrews, Ahaya, is gathering the 12 tribes of Israel. Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Rick Harshaw, the Gathered of Christ Church, here with our weekly Patreon update. Of course, it's been a few weeks since I came on through the Patreon, but we're going to have a good time with our loyal Patreonies today, okay? Real quick before I discuss what's going on. If you are a Patreon member, okay, you have to make sure that if you're viewing through your phone or whatever device you're using, you have to make sure that there's no Vimeo app on your phone. That's the conflict. If you're using Vimeo, even though we stream from Vimeo to Patreon, you cannot view Patreon and have the Vimeo app also. That's a conflict that leads to technical issues on your side, right? It's a glitch that they didn't fix, so I want to make sure that you don't have Vimeo apps and all that on your, trying to look at it through two separate platforms. It's going to conflict, giving you zero, nothing, blank. So if you're one of the people who are having issues, I'm sorry, with Patreon, that might be an issue. And if there is other issues, okay, make sure you send an email to gatheringas1@aol.com. We'll have our tech guy from the church call you, reach out to you, or through email to fix whatever issues that you might have, okay? Just want to put that out there, all right? All right, but usually you can view Patreon strictly through the Patreon online site, Patreon/A-Gathering144. You can view it all there. If you like to be a part of Patreon, this is how you do it. You can enroll. It's only $5 a month, and we go into a lot of different, we do video reviews, updates, Q&As, just spontaneous, discussion And sometimes we bring in the phone calls through Blog Talk when it's actually working. Right now, Blog Talk been on the blink for at least 2-3 weeks now. Or if it goes on the blink with Blog Talk, we'll switch it to Zoom. Either way, I hope we can do something like that today. Before I go into this, I would like to say thank you for all your support and all you do in supporting the Gathering of Christ Church. Thank you and bless you. And let's dive into our discussion. But before going into the discussion, I do have a few announcements to make. All right. First and foremost, I'm chopping at the bit for this particular academy. Folks, I'm chopping at the bit. We've been all for a long time now, and it's time for us to really go into it. 12 weeks of our Hebrew and Bible Academy begin this coming Sunday. Okay, go to historytimes.org to enroll. The theme for this academy will be making it through Jacob's trouble. The next Hebrew and Bible Academy starts on Sunday, April 21st, 9 a.m. Eastern time, okay? Now, you don't have to worry about if you're busy or whatever the case is, or you're busy on Sunday, you have to work Sunday, or you may live in a country where the time doesn't, coincide with you. It's fine if you're not viewing the broadcast live, because we give you links to broadcast it, to actually look back at everything, be it Hebrew, the news, as well as the lesson, anytime during the week, any time of day. So if unavailability is your issue, keep in mind you don't have to be there to still share in the academy. Even though the experience is great one-on-one when you're there in the chat, chatting with other people, the live chat, it's absolutely awesome. But outside of that, if you still want the experience with the academy and don't have time, Sundays might be some people only day off. Okay. All right. I understand that. Therefore we've worked with our team for years to make sure you still get the same experience in your convenient time, at the time of your convenience, during the week. All right. So if you can't be in the academy because of time restraints or whatever the case is, we do send you a link to experience the Hebrew at your own leisure, as well as the news like none other on earth, uncensored actually, okay, as well as the lesson for the week. So just make sure you understand that. Those who come to the academy and experience it still go back with the study materials we give them during the week and review the videos over and over again. They still have access to that. So don't let that particular thing be a hang up for you, okay? It is better live though. Right? Like everything. Most things are better live, right? But anyway, making it through Jacob's trouble. We're going to have some themes, making it through Jacob's trouble, and new lessons. Identifying the Gentile nations. All right. And we're going to keep a keen eye on Esau as well as Ishmael. I'm going to come back to Ishmael in a moment. But we're going to identify the Gentile nations of the earth, because our people, especially those who grew up in the Western world, have been disconnected from ancient history and have no idea of the people that are popping up in our neighborhoods. Right? What are their core beliefs? What do they think about us? What did they think about our forefathers in Israel? Right? So we have to identify these Gentile nations to understand the religious warfare that they have waged on our people, as well as the financial warfare, siphoning money out of our community to embolden themselves. But once we identify them, you know what? We begin to deal with them on a different level. And folks, that's including how we interact with them in business. Hence the reason some people might have thought that when I highlighted someone coming into the church as if they are come to be a part of the church, but really they were coming to actually have our church as a financial piece to support their particular projects, right? And, normally I would overlook that stuff, but no, things have changed. Okay? If you're going to come in and be honest about what your intentions are, then we can talk like that. We can actually agree on something. But if you're going to come in backward as if you're trying to deal with the church, but really have a financial interest, we can't deal like that. That's not in good faith, especially when you're interacting with a faith-based organization or church. You have to come honest. So, and this is why I want us to also look into these Gentile nations. Because really, right, a lot of their interest is not caring about our people at all outside of what they can get from us, right? So this is why I want to identify these nations so that now our brothers and sisters can understand how, who to negotiate with and how to negotiate when it comes to business. These people that come into our country are used to haggling and negotiating on a regular basis amongst their own people. That's how they do business. So when they come into our cities, our areas, they understand that we don't have that knowledge of how they haggle and go back and forth when it comes to prices and all that. And they use us and siphon money off of us because we just allow them to do so and allow them to jack up prices or whatever the case might be. So, we're going to take some of the experience that I've had traveling the world, interacting with all nations, and identifying the nations so you'll know how to really deal with them. Okay? And it's not to say to disrespect them or to look at them negatively, because some of them don't have negative intentions, but all in all, they have to begin to deal with us in good faith. So the Bible says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You get the knowledge of these people and understand what their intentions are, and then we can deal with them accordingly. If you agree with how they're treating you, that's okay, but at least you understand what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with. So going back, identifying the Gentile nations, we must know these people. Who are they cramming in our neighborhoods? Final battle between Esau and Jacob. All right. We're going to also go into the Dead Sea Scrolls to show you the final battle. And they've been battling us through proxy for years. And I'm speaking of Esau. Esau, the invisible man, okay, who exists but yet ceased to exist because he have erased himself out of history intentionally, okay? The so-called European man is the Edomite, okay? So what we're going to identify is that stealth battle they've had against us for years, be it financial battling against us, right? With the credit scores and all these other things, right? Guess what? That's how you do it. That's quasi battle where they're working their strings in the background, but at the end of the day, taking us out. Their medical eugenics system, targeting our children and all these things under eugenics, right? So they've been battling against us for years through their science, through their miseducation, right? All of that, right? So we got to identify the battle between Esau and Jacob. And what I'm going to do in this particular lesson, we're going into the book of Jasher, the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis. We're going to go all through the Bible and show you our interactions with Esau since we were fighting in the womb of our mother. Some battles won, some battles lost, right? But all in all, Christ will win the battle against Esau, against Rome. And we're going to talk about that battle, okay? And we're talking about it from a governmental standpoint, not individuals. We can't look at an everyday white guy who's walking down the street who's as ignorant to history as our people are and say, well, something is wrong with you because you're white and all that, when these people have no power that you're arguing with to change anything. Okay? Right? So we're talking about from a governmental, structural standpoint when it comes to Esau, not the everyday layman who's just trying to make it in the earth. All right? So that's the difference between us and these other people out there, right? We're not trying to blame everyday white people for what happens. It's ridiculous. Neither can we blame everyday black people for things that go on a normal basis. What we have to do is inform, right? Give brothers and sisters insight, regardless of whether or not you are Israelite or Gentile, to the real world dynamics according to God. And this is what we do in the academy. This is what we do right here when we're before you. This is what we've done since the Most High have blessed us with this ministry. Okay? The truth about Mecca, the witchcraft and satanic rituals that go on every day at the Kaaba stone. Is there some truth, moral truth within the religion Islam? Well, absolutely. Okay. Keep in mind, our religion has moral standards that were established universally. Okay, because Ham, Shem, and Japheth all were on Noah's Ark. So the Noahide law is really instituted within our religion when it comes to certain principles. So we're not saying that there isn't some good, values as far as moral goes in some of these religions. I can look at Judaism and I can point out, as far as the morality in our Torah, in our Bible, that states, well, okay, what they're saying there is correct. Right? So, but other things are false. Right? So again, when I say I'm going to point out the satanic rituals at the Kaaba stone, that's not an attack on Muslims, even though they might think it is. Okay? We have to show them, even Arabs, Ishmael, how they were lied to. They were told that Mecca was a place where Abraham and did something with Ishmael and Adam and somewhere built a house in that area and all this stuff. So they lied to their own people concerning the history of the Kaaba stone in Mecca. What I'm doing is I'm going to show you where the stone came from. I'm going to show you the craft with that. And I'm going to also show you that same stone was being worshiped amongst the Romans and the Italians as a stone that came down from Mars. Okay, as they call Mars a fallen star, when really Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, all of these are quasi names for Satan. So that and more, we're going to discuss the truth about Mecca satanic rituals at the Kaaba. Why? Because I don't believe all Muslims are bad people. I believe that just like our people, they're misinformed. Okay. So also we have to break down the fact that Islam is one of the newest religions on earth. Okay. It's one of the newest religions. Before it was Islam, it was called Persian mythology. The ancient Babylonian rituals has been infused with this new religion called Islam. And they created that when what? When our people who taught Muhammad rejected his new religion called Islam, he turned the sword against his teachers. We were, that's right, Muhammad's teachers. He was following Torah. He was following the commandments. He was actually learning about Christ when he ran into us through these caravans, but only to begin to what? Resent his teachers because we refused to follow his new religion. So I don't have a problem with Muslims and other people who are dealing with other religions. Listen, choose what you want to, but guess what? You're going to choose it honestly with the truth. That means if you find out that after we bring this out, that there's some Satan rituals connected to your religion, your religious ceremonies, then outright serve Satan by not trying to bring our God into it. Okay? Just be what it's going to be. All right? So once we bring out the truth concerning Kaaba and all these things, you have a choice to back up off of it and follow the true God we introduced to Moses. We introduced to Muhammad, or suffer the judgment. How Christ will guide us through Jacob's trouble. We have a full lesson on that. Enduring through the 7 trumps. We're going into the book of Revelation. You know, Christians rarely go into that book, unfortunately. And we're going to break down the 7 trumps that was given by God through Christ to John the Revelator. Folks, we're going into, and we're in actually the last trump before the return of Christ. And I'm going to talk about that and the dark side of Islam. I hope you brothers and sisters are a part of this 3 months. We're going to deal with this 3-month academy, right? Even though we hope there's more, but we're going to put everything in it as if it's our last academy. Okay. So I hope you are part of it. Be a part of history. Okay. historytimes.org to enroll. All right. Now, before I go into what we'll be discussing on Patreon, I have something for you all today. Before we go over to Patreon, I would like to actually make an announcement, actually. Right? historytimes.org to enroll. We have brothers, we have the administration on standby, and keep in mind, for those who would like to know, there is a price for the academy. It's $150 for 3 months. Okay. We've already broken down the numbers. You pay $75 the first month, $75 the second month, and it covers you for the last month. You don't have to worry about the third month. We already broke it down, and it's actual when you break it down with all the literature and all that stuff we given you. It's less than 30 cents a day for 3 months. Okay, so that's not too bad. We spend money on frivolous stuff to throw away. 30 cents a day for 3 months, that's nothing, right? So we already broke down the numbers, and guess what? We've had the academy. It costs us more to actually do the academy from the time we began this, right? And we never went up on the price, ever. Okay? So it's really $150 for 3 months. $75 to enroll, another $75, and we do allow some people. We have a list of those who can't afford to come through, and we make sure others are sponsored and all that too. But that's not publicized, right? We don't talk about that. But many come into the academy who can't afford it. We make sure we take care of it. So we do have a list for those who can't afford it right now, and we do sponsor a certain number of people for free through the academy. All right. Now, getting off of the academy, go to historytimes.org to enroll if this interests you. Right. I have an announcement because we have what we call the GOCC, the Gathering of Christ Church Royalty Summit. It's coming June 7th and 8th. Okay. It will be titled the GOC Royalty Summit. It's a 2-day event taking place June 7th and 8th. Will be in Augusta, Georgia. Due to limited seats, this event is for members of the Gathering of Christ Church and their families initially. All right. Once those tickets have been, once we see what the tickets are, after the members have already booked their tickets, anything left over, then we'll allow others from the outside of the church to actually purchase tickets. Okay. It's very limited seating, so I just wanted to let y'all know that we will prefer those who are baptized in the church first for the event. Now, this 2-day event will begin on Friday, June 7th, with a panelist of guest speakers. We're going to cover health, fitness, farming, and family unity. And I'm going to also see if I can get some pastors in the area who can sit down and discuss a few things under a networking symposium type of thing so that they can get introduced to what the truth is outside of the demonization of Israelites through media, right? How they need to ignore the apologetics and all these others who've always played interference and come together with God's people to teach the true gospel, okay? So it's going to be great. Also on Friday before sundown, we will have a full day of vending and networking, okay? On Friday evening, we will have a play. The play will be on the story of Samson, right? A man ordained for greatness by Ahiah, a story of strength, betrayal, grace, and redemption. Join us for this riveting stage play for Friday night, okay? On Saturday, June 8th, we will have a morning Sabbath lesson, myself, Elder Lawyer. Then we'll break and return in the evening for our first annual White and Gold Gala event. We'll have food, okay? Food is a part of the package. We'll have actually a little comedy, truth comedy, as well as our music concert featuring some well-known artists and special guests. Tickets for this event will be on sale shortly, and pricing will vary depending on seating, with all VIP seats at $125. We kept it this reasonably low, actually. $125 for the VIP seats. The premium seats will be $95 for adults, and $50 and $30 for children, okay? General seats at $70 for adults and $50 and $30 for children, depending on their age group, okay? If you're very young, you'll be under the low range amount. We wanted to keep it affordable for our people, okay? An event like this, usually a gala and all of this, usually costs up into the hundreds per person. But we're really doing it at cost to try to recoup what we put out. And keep in mind, this is a nonprofit event. It's not about making money here, but it costs a lot of money to actually do it, okay? It's a nonprofit event, and all proceeds will be used to cover the cost of the summit, okay? We're not making no money off this at all, and any money that does come in excess, if so, it goes back into us doing something else in the future on a grander scale, possibly. Keep in mind, we'll have a white carpet out there, no red carpet. And I can't wait to see royalty. I can't wait to see my brothers in that all white and gold, my sisters in white gowns and gold and all that with the fringes. And it's going to be a pleasant, pleasant gala. Our first annual GOCC Royalty Summit starts, and you'll be hearing a lot about this running into the next couple of weeks, and how to actually go online and book your seats, okay? So keep your ear to the ground. We're gonna have a play, Samson, Friday night, and we're going to have a serious get together and concert this coming June 8th, sundown. Okay. All right. So keep your ear to the ground. You'll be hearing about this next week and all that, and we'll show you the website on where to go and be a part of this. Hey, I'm excited. Boy, it's great when God's people in the name of Christ come together, all right? And again, for those who don't know, go to historytimes.org to enroll in the Hebrew Bible Academy that starts this coming Sunday, all right? Now, let's jump right in. Look what happened. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use for educational purposes only. All right. This is what happens when government play God.
Dubai travel authorities today urged travelers to stay away from the airport after the United Arab Emirates was battered by more than a year and a half's worth of rain in just a few hours.
Inside the metro. Yo, look at outside. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Fair use. For educational purposes only.
The desert city-state yesterday suffered horrendous floods, which swamped the airport and many of the surrounding roads, forcing dozens of flights to be canceled as travelers crammed into the concourse to shelter from the torrential downpour.
Look at that, brother. Look at that. In the middle of a desert.
Shocking videos shared on social media showed how cars were filled with water, forcing hundreds of motorists to abandon their vehicles and swim to safety. Some cars were completely submerged, with the top of their roofs barely breaking the water's surface. Some wealthy drivers in luxury cars bragged of floating their way through the carnage, but
Folks, this is Dubai in the middle of the desert. If you want the breakdown of how this happened, I'm going to give it to you right after the video, so hold tight. There is a spiritual element to this, as well as a scientific element to why this Babylonian city made out of the desert was underwater. Fair use. Educational purposes. This is what happens when governments play God.
saw their vehicles stall as they became stuck in the deluge. Rainwater also poured into homes, pushing people out of their houses and into the streets to seek shelter in higher structures. Meanwhile, footage from inside the airport, the world's busiest for international travel, showed passengers sleeping on the floor as others were turned away from the terminal.
Oh, yeah. How many people? Yeah, I'm going to get flued out to Dubai. It's time to get flowed out. And a lot of these so-called billionaires are going over there doing all types of ritualistic, sadistic sexual behavior. Yeah, someone should have built an ark. Fair use.
Standing water lapped on taxiways as aircraft came into land, forcing operators to completely close the airport for almost an hour yesterday. The facility quickly reopened, but the schedule has descended into chaos with dozens more flights disrupted.
Look at that.
A statement shared by Dubai airport operators on social media read, "We advise you not to come to the airport unless absolutely necessary. Flights continue to be delayed and diverted. Please check your flight status directly with your airline. We are working hard to recover operations as quickly as possible in very challenging conditions." An incredible time-lapse video shared on social media this morning showed how the thunderstorms rolled in and the sky became black before the city was obscured by a blanket of rain. Nearly 4 inches, 100 millimeters, of rain fell over the course of just 12 hours on Tuesday, according to weather observations at the airport, around what Dubai usually records in an entire year, according to United Nations data. The rain fell so heavily and so quickly that some motorists were forced to abandon their vehicles as the floodwater rose and roads turned into rivers.
See what happens when you play God? Yeah. Look at this. You know, they're doing up but sin all up in there. A city built in the desert. Look. Now, there is no drainage infrastructure in place for such rain.
Video from social media showed water rushing through a major shopping mall and inundating the ground floor of homes. Like the rest of the United Arab Emirates, Dubai has a hot and dry climate. As such, rainfall is infrequent, and in many areas there is limited infrastructure, such as drainage to handle extreme events. The rain that plunged Dubai underwater is associated with a larger storm system traversing the Arabian Peninsula and moving across the Gulf of Oman. This same system is also bringing unusually wet weather to nearby Oman and southeastern Iran. Rain is expected to taper off in the region, but a few showers may linger Wednesday before dry weather returns.
See what happens when you play with God? Huh?
Allah musta'an. I can't go outside.
Yeah, Allah ain't gonna get you out of this
I am
one.
in the window. International city now change. Like, see. We can't go outside.
Can't go outside.
That's my car.
Yeah, you ain't going to a Hummus truck this week. It ain't going down. See what happens when you try to play God, huh? Look at this. I think y'all got it. Look at this. Look at this. How nature can just shut a whole. Now, what missiles can you make to fight against that? What military can you form against our God? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. No falafels for you. No falafels right now. You have to chill on that falafel truck. All right? I'm going to show you how. Now, so what did I mean, brothers and sisters, when I stated, right? What did I mean, right, when it was stated that this is what happens when governments play God, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me minimize that. See, this is what happens. Let me show you what I mean by that. See? So, and see, like I stated earlier, there's a scientific component to this, and there's a spiritual component to this. I'm going to break it down for you. Right? Christ stated in Matthew 24, once the evil doers, the Gentiles, get an authority, that in order for them to actually accomplish their plan, they would need to break down the earth first. Speaking of Satan and his cohorts, along with the allegiance, the confederacies of nations who are really Luciferians. So Christ was actually pointing out what they would be doing in the earth. For nation shall rise against nation. There will be stoking racial tensions, like you see with your news every day, right? They can't wait to jump on a racial story to demonize us or to have some type of negative conflict that they're creating throughout media. And kingdom against kingdom, like we see what's going on over there with Iran, right? The proxy war that will ensue into a real war between Israel and Iran, where Israel will seek to bring America into the war, okay? And there shall be famines. Now, Christ is breaking down what will be happening in the earth. Famines. And I'm going to show you how this is connected to that. Pestilences. I'm going to show you how what you see in Dubai in the rain is attached to that. And earthquakes in diverse places. Christ says these are the beginning of sorrows, Jacob's trouble, right? So you have to realize they're doing things in the earth that will lead to what? Trouble on the people living in the earth, right? Now, that's now check it out now. So what does this have to do with Dubai and the rain in Dubai? And see, I'll be going into a little bit of this as far as in the academy when I talk about when the Most High did the creation and separated the waters from the waters, right? So keep in mind, folks, the whole earth was created out of waters. The earth is 7-part water. Okay? Now understand that. 7-part water, 3-part earth. All right? Every spring, after equal parts day and night, the Most High began to open up chambers and send rain for the earth, right? Because the rain would come in to begin what? The growing of seeds, food, and all these others to feed man on earth. So there's more rain during what? That comes in during from winter into spring, and from what? From summer into fall, you'll find more rain. And how do I know this? Well, the book of Enoch breaks down the chambers of water. The earth was made out of water, right? In the midst of water, the waters, the Most High put a firmament. But he also have chambers that are through portals or gates. There's 12 gates on the outside of the earth where weather comes into the earth. Rain is one of those chambers. So, matter of fact, I can show you better than I can tell you. Right? Let me show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Book of Enoch. The 60th chapter, where it goes into the elements. In the year 500, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month in the life of Enoch. In the parable I saw how a mighty quaking made the heaven of heavens to quake. And the Most High and all the angels, thousands and thousands and 10,000s times 10,000s, were disquieted with a great disquiet, right? So now that's going into the laws of the celestial on the outside of our earth, right? The celestial ministers to the earth when it comes to what they would call nature. Right? So let's get straight to it. Let me get straight to it. The point here. Right? It says right here, and this is 62. I can go all the way up, but I wanted to jump right to it. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell. Then a dwelling place was assigned for her in the heavens. Wisdom went forth to make her dwelling amongst the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place, and took her seat amongst the angels. And the unrighteous went forth from her chambers. Whom she sought not, she found, and dwelt with them. A rain in a desert, and a dew on a thirsty land. Right? So when you go up, it tells you about the chambers of waters. There's chambers of water. Look at this. Check this out. What do we see in Dubai? We see the fall of hell, an inordinate falling of hell, and an inordinate fall of water in the desert. And their mind, it says in the 61st verse, in there mine eyes saw the secrets of lightning of the thunder. These are chambers. And the secrets of the winds, how they are divided blow over the earth. And the secrets of the clouds and dew. And there I saw from whence they proceed in that place, and from whence they saturate the dusty earth. And there I saw closed chambers, out which the winds are divided. The chambers of the hell and the winds, the chambers of the mist and of the clouds. And the cloud thereof hovers over the earth from the beginning of the world. So what's going on here? What's going on here, folks, is there's a reason why you're not supposed to build habitations in the deserts. Because the Most High have appointed chambers for water and all of that to minister to mankind who live in the earth, on the earth, where things grow. That's where the chambers are pointed to. In order for them to bring rain into the desert, they must artificially do so by seeding clouds to redirect the waters that would normally come to the green land. So they can't control the chambers of water that comes out. But what they can do is seed, so when the waters come out of the chambers, it's redirected to where they would like it to be. Right? And Christ knew that they would be doing these things scientifically in the earth before his coming. How do you know that? Look at this. CBS News. What is cloud seeding, and did it play any role in the Dubai floods? So they know about the water chambers according to God, but they're playing God by redirecting what the Most High sends into the earth. But by doing so, what happens? It become a flood in Dubai, and those waters that should have rained on Africa or different parts of where people lives are getting less rain. Well, that will lead to droughts, famines, and all of that, like Christ stated. You're not supposed to play God. You're not supposed to build cities in the middle of deserts. Stranded airline passengers. Let me get her out of here. stranded airline passengers, and a cat submerged in a floodwaters clinging to a car door handle. Notable moments this week in Dubai, as the normally arid city was inundated with historic levels of rain. Claims have gone viral that the deluge was brought on by cloud seeding, a technique that aims to increase precipitation that is heavily utilized in the United Arab Emirates. So they cloud seed. Why? Because normally the Most High, he sent rain in the desert, but a minimal amount of rain because the majority of people don't live in deserts. So the Most High send waters out of his chambers to minister unto man, right? To feed man, to nourish man. But these satanic psychopaths are seeking to play God, okay? They're redirecting the chambers of rain. And by doing so, it's causing droughts where the rain is supposed to fall. Now, again, they cannot control the amount of water that comes out of the chambers. Our God sends that. He's been doing this since the beginning of the world. But since Satan, he was among the stones of fire, he knows where these chambers are. And I even went into a study, and I'm going to do this also in the academy to show you that they found out where all the portals from the heavenly realm into the earth are located. And by doing so, they connected those portals to what? You got it. They connected those portals to CERN. When the gates open, CERN is their what? Connector. And what happens? They turned on CERN a couple of weeks ago, August 8th, during the so-called eclipse, during the eclipse. And as you can see, what happens? Earthquakes. Earthquakes, folks. High seismic activity when they turned on CERN. Surrounded by the Alps is Jura and Lake Geneva. CERN is located in a particular complex geologically setting, which also happens to be a non-negligible earthquake-prone region. But guess what? It shook a few days ago because they turned on CERN. So they do this to redirect the weather that comes in naturally by God. And guess what? Nature is supposed to minister and help us. They're playing God, sending all of this rain into the desert, not realizing they do realize that rain is supposed to feed, is supposed to actually water the plants that would lead to food for our people, food for the earth. And these psychopaths has redirected all of this water into a desert. And you know what the Most High said? Well, okay, since you want to cloud seed, since you want to play God, okay, you can have it all. Okay? Since you want to, Most High is showing them that their science is foolishness. Their science is foolishness. See? So the Most High say, oh, you want to redirect the waters, huh? So I'll tell you what. I'm going to do an old Noah deal on you. Play with me if you want. And the Most High says, the angels just redirected the chambers of waters and just flooded a desert. See? And they know not to play with it this time of season, because why? This is the time of season that has high precipitation, where the Most High, according to Enoch, sends in water to water the plants that can nourish and feed his people. So you're not supposed to turn that stuff on this time of year and begin to cloud seed and all of that, because it's going to rain inordinately in the wrong places like we see in Dubai and cause catastrophes. Keep playing with God if you want. Well, I think it's going to be a long time before people get flew out of there, right? I'm flying out to Dubai. Let me tell you, all due respect, Dubai is Babylon. It's just an extension of it. Harlotry, evil, in the midst of what you would call a Middle Eastern country where they claim to be highly moral above others. And it's nothing, let me tell you, it's a freak party over there amongst the elite. And the Most High just rained on them. All right. That concludes my update. I need to go over to Patreon because, hey, we have about a 40-minute review. We're going to jump right over and check out Candace and the Rabbi. And this should be interesting. Candace and the Rabbi. Yeah, the Rabbi is going to give us some insight. He's going to teach us the definition of anti-Semitism. We're here to get a lesson. Okay? We don't want to offend anyone, so hopefully this rabbi can break it down so none offends when it comes to being anti-anybody. And after that, I'm going to break down, relax, and get ready for the Sabbath lesson. But my brothers and sisters, they've been chopping at the bit. They said that they wanted to review this. I keep putting it off. So we're going to put about 30, 40 minutes into the rabbi giving us some insight and some education on anti-Semitism. And, I want to see how, I think this sister is Benjamin too, right? I don't agree with everything Candace does or talk about politically. No one agrees with anyone on everything, right? But all in all, boy, what happens when you train our people as a political weapon against us? When she began to see the hypocrisy and double standard when it comes to them. Well, if you can have her talk about the debauchery and the evil amongst black people, well, when she see it amongst others, should she be silent? Should she be silenced? Or she can say whatever she can about us negatively. So to have your sentiments used through her as proxy. No more. No more. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If she can talk about the negatives within our people's, within her race, when it comes to the negatives that keep our people from progressing, why can't she do the same for your people? All right. Get ready, brothers and sisters. Get your popcorn ready. The rabbi is going to give us some insight on how to not be anti-Semitic. And we'll open up Zoom, phone calls if necessary. I hope to have this thing wrapped up by at least 5 o'clock. Hold tight. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not. Hebrew and Bible Academy this Sunday. I want to see you there. Go to historytimes.org. Let's go over to Patreon. Shalom. And keep in mind, the Most High is calling back Israel. And I like to say this. The world need to stop the hate. Okay? We need to stop the hate against the children of Israel, God's chosen people. Right? Bye-bye. As a matter of fact, bye-bye. I'm going to be doing that song this coming June, also Saturday night. So, bye-bye. See you on Patreon. Shalom. And stop the hate on the children of Israel. All right. I see you over in Patreon, brothers and sisters.
The Arabs and Africans told us
At gunpoint.
together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Together us in Colombia, Ruben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. From